Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. This is Tiffany, Broke Girl Aesthetic. Today I am creating a mini propagation station. This is part of the Power Up playlist hosted by Sarah DIY It. All of that information is down in my description box. So I'm starting off with some jute twine and one of these wood pieces and these 4 little glass bottles, and these all came from the Dollar Tree in the Crafter's Square aisle. I picked them up at work, actually. Am I bragging that I work at Dollar Tree? Yeah, I kind of am, because it's Dollar Tree, y'all. I just really love it. I just stock the shelves, but that's okay. Anyway, so what my intentions are here is to hang these 4 little tubes, these little glass tubes, on this piece of wood, and it'll hang on the wall, and I will be able to put my pothos cuttings in this. And what I'm going to do is spread them out about every 2 inches. And I'm going to loop the jute twine around the neck of the little jars, and through a hole I'm going to drill, I will tie them in the back, and you'll see all that. So to start with, this piece is about 11.5 inches long, and I want to make the math easier for myself. I'm not a math person, so I'm going to cut this down to 10 inches. And basically I'm going to be cutting off the end where the holes are drilled for the hanger that's already on it. So at 10 inches, I will mark it and draw a line, and I will cut there. Then every 2 inches is where I want there to be one of these little tubes. So measuring out 2, 4, 6, 8 inches, and that will leave 2 inches on each end if everything goes according to plan. And I'll put little tick marks at every 2 inches. And Mr. Axie is on my lap. He's a happy boy. And I'm going to come down about 1/2 inch from the top, because these tubes are nearly as wide. And like I said, I'm going to use that jute twine to loop around the necks, tie it through. I'm using an 1/8 inch drill bit to make my holes. So I'm just taking the speed square that I picked up at Dollar Tree to draw my line at 10 inches to prepare a cut. Axie, quit. And there's 3 ways you could cut this. First, you could use an X-Acto knife or a box cutter, or you can use a miter box and saw, because this little piece of wood will fit right in there. I'm going to use my scroll saw to cut this. Much easier and less strain on my already falling apart body. And it cuts through this really thin wood very, very easily. All right, now I've got that back in, and it's time to get the holes drilled. So I'm going to use some painter's tape to protect the front and the back, because as you can see, it does splinter a little bit. I do sand that, but I want to prevent as much splintering as I can, and I don't want it to crack or break. So I'm going to use painter's tape on both sides to protect while I drill the hole. And again, measuring down 1/2 inch from the top, and every 2 inches I'll make my marks to drill my holes. All right, using my Ryobi drill, just going to drill my 4 holes. And I made sure to have a block of wood underneath to protect my work surface. Again, a very thin piece of wood, very easy to drill through. And I have my 4 holes, and now it's time for stain. And I'm just going to use some folk art, home decor, antiquing wax to stain. Just put a paper towel underneath, and using baby wipes to apply it. A little bit goes a long way with this stuff. You don't need to use a whole lot at all. It's super pigmented, and I have no idea what this wood is made from, but it just soaks it right up. Axie, stop biting my fingers. He's being a pain today. But it just brings out all that grain in there and all the scratches. But it's cool. It's cool. And I make sure that I do the front and the sides and the back. I'm just kind of taking a pencil to clean out the holes. I'm just going to flip it over and do the back. So like I said, this is part of the Power Up playlist. This is a challenge that was created by Sarah from Ken Sarah DIY It. And it's just the ladies using power tools, because why can't we, right? They're not intimidating. They're fun to use. And it makes some crafts go way easier, kind of like this one. So her co-host this month is Tammy of the Rusted Willow, and the link to the playlist and their links to their channels will be in my description box below. As always, make sure to go check out the whole playlist, and as always, spread that YouTube goodness. Like, comment, and subscribe on everybody's channels. So once this is done being stained and dry, then I can continue with the assembly. Alright, so here I am going to just attach a hanger to the back first. I figure it'll be easier this way. Just using my Surebonder hot glue gun and Surebonder glue sticks because they rock. I'm just taking this little piece of jute that I tied off ends, just a little loop to stick on the back here. I didn't want to have to try and fight with the extra string and stuff that's going to be there, so just gluing that down. So what I'm going to do to clean it up a little bit is I just took some craft paper and I'm hot gluing that down on top of the little knots. I'll also do the same thing after I tie all the tubes on as well to just give it a clean look. And here I am attaching the trying to attach the last one. You know how it goes sometimes. I just hot glued the ends together of my jute to thread it through the hole. This is real life, people. Things sometimes just aggravate. There we go. Now I can get it in there. So that's pulled through, and now I'll just tie it down on the back side through the hole. Just do one tie and then knot. Pull it really tight there, and you can see they're all tied tightly there. And here, as you see, I am pulling the cord tight, hot gluing on top of the knot to secure that. And then just putting that craft paper down on top. Just a little extra. And just snip off the ends. And there we go. Now to keep them from wiggling about, I'm just going to put a little dot of hot glue underneath. Yeah, hot glue and glass really usually don't work, but you know, I thought I'd give it a try anyway. It at least holds it temporarily until, you know, I can get the water and stuff in it. And when it's time to clean it, or you know, take the water and change it or whatever, if I need to, I can always go back in with some glue dots. And it looks really good. I really like it already. I think it's pretty neat. So let's go fill them up. So here's one of my pothos plants. I have two. They're not very big, but they've grown quite a bit since I got them last year. So I'm going to take my cuttings off of this plant right here. I'm trying to do this carefully. So what I'm doing is cutting down one of my little trails here, my little viney parts. And then I'll also cut another piece off. I'm trying to make sure I have enough to do a couple of starts. So these are the pieces that I'm going to propagate. The one on the right, I'm just going to use that one entirely. The one on the left, you can actually make into 3 separate pieces to propagate. So here I'm going to go ahead and fill my little tubes with water. Put a little more in there. The pieces that you want to propagate have the little curvy bit there called the nodes or whatever, and that's where your roots are going to come from, I guess. I just looked at Pinterest, saw some pictures, and followed that. So there are my 4 cuttings. I'm just going to go ahead and hang it up here on my wall. Pardon my dirty mirror. Just going to hang it up here. All right, and then just putting them in the tubes. And I have this directly across from a window, so it should get plenty of sun for the better part of the day. And pothos is pretty hardy. It'll start to root pretty easy. In a couple weeks, I'll already see roots coming, and I may be able to replant them in about 3 weeks. So there it is. And it's so cute. Very simple DIY to make, very cheap, and a lot of fun. Now, let's take a closer look. This is a great little place to start your plant propagation. Super cheap, only less than $5 actually, at the Dollar Tree for the items, and you have a great little spot for your baby plants to grow. It takes up a very small amount of space. I have a larger one planned, so make sure that you're subscribed and have the notification bell turned on so you know when I post that. It's going to be quite a bit larger. Don't forget to check out the rest of the playlist. That link and the link to the hosts are in my description box as well. And if you're a reader and you'd like to read posts about these kinds of videos, I have that link also below over at my Buy Me a Coffee page. I have more detail added to that and some pictures of the process as well. Thank you guys so much for watching. Take care, y'all. Bye.